Hello and welcome everyone. This is Nitesh Mishra from Federation of Indian Export Organizations, popularly known as FIO, India's apex trade promotion organization. And you are listening to the Voice of Exports, India's first exclusive podcast for EXIM community. On this podcast, we bring top performers from the sector who not only inspire but also reinvigorate among you to become one of them.
Welcome again to another episode of Voice of Exports, India's first export podcast organized by FIO. Today we have in our program Mr. Maniar Kalpesh Kumar, who is the director of Maniar Injectoplast Pvt Ltd, a certified ISO company which manufactures and exports customized plastic parts. Welcome, Mr. Maniar Kalpesh Kumar.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nitesh, and thank you for inviting me to this wonderful initiative by FIO, the Voice of Export. I'm glad I'm a part of this podcast.
The very first question, Maniar Kalpesh ji, I would like to ask you is that how would you introduce your company and how it started?
We, being in business since 1998, initially we have been doing supplies of paint pails in India, and suddenly found that the customers we were serving, they had some issues, and we couldn't. We got into some issues of survival due to we were dependent on only one customer, and then we thought to venture into the export. And yes, of course, it took us little time, but yes, when it comes to getting the orders for the export, the government, more particularly, we got our first order through NSIC.
Okay.
They had an office in Dubai at that time, I think, at around 2004. And with the help of NSIC, we got a first order of the customized buckets for construction in Dubai, and that was our kickstart. And thereafter, we have developed several more products for GCC market, and then we had a customer from US. And those customers, since 2004, we are in 2025, by God's grace, we are still serving them. We are having in some countries like Bahrain and Qatar, we are having a monopoly of our products, that is the construction bucket. And that whole journey has happened because of two things: the consistent quality, and we have a policy to meet our customers once in 60 days.
Okay. Talking about the challenges you have faced during exports, how do you enumerate that, Mr. Kalpesh?
Challenges as such, the biggest challenge which every exporter faces is finding the customers. But we have a different approach. Like when we as an Indian, when we go to buy things in a market, let it be a vegetables or fruit, we usually check the quality and so many things before we actually buy. Now, at the same time, when the customer overseas is looking for to buy something in volume, what will be the reason he will have a trust on us, or rather any Indian exporter, when they have a choice all over the world?
Yes.
The key what we understand is, until the customer have a faith on us, he will definitely be reluctant on placing the order. So what is the way to win the faith of the customer, जिसको हम हिंदी में विश्वास बोलते हैं? जब तक ग्राहक का भरोसा अपने पे नहीं होगा, तब तक वो अपने से नहीं खरीदेगा. So the key what we found working for us is कि आप कस्टमर को मिलो, और आपको पता है कि आपका पोटेंशियल कस्टमर है, आप 4 बार मिलोगे, आप जब भी जाते हो, और आप उनको मिलोगे तो आज नहीं, कल नहीं, परसों वो he will have some inquiries, and if he finds that our prices and qualities are good, he will give us the order. But yeah, जब भी हमने शुरू किया तभी email and things were not इतना फैशन में नहीं था, चलन में नहीं था. I remember, I'll explain one incident.
Yes,
we were talking to
a
company in Singapore in 2004. Tabhi, the company was looking for essential oil of black pepper. We lose that order. That order was very big. but we couldn't send them the sample of oil because it was a restricted item. It is still restricted. You cannot send liquids by
Okay.
courier.
Okay.
So sometimes such incidents that becomes a speed breaker in the journey, but that has given us a lesson that we should continue meeting the customers. We are always on touch on WhatsApp and emails, but until you meet, the meeting is something which we find very crucial point which works for any Indian exporter. As such challenges, yes, China is there in almost all the products, but we found that lately the Middle Eastern customers are looking for the quality products, and India is definitely on their mind to buy the good products at a reasonable price.
Okay, then as with regard to all these things which you have just now talked about, the quality of product and the consistency and the market and the individual customers you are looking at, what advice would you give to companies similar to you in general looking to export?
In general, there are 2-3 things which are very basic, that understand the buyer's requirement very deeply. Don't feel shy to ask the questions where there is confusion. Don't leave anything in gray area, and offer the best price. The customer is looking for to buy not only for the quality, at the same time, by offering the quality, we must be a competitive. So
Okay.
if we offer them a quality product at a reasonable price, then the customer, we can retain the customer for longer time.
Okay.
And secondly, when the customer is when the to-be customer is your customer after a conversion, if he is in nearby, visit him once in 2 months. If not, then once in 6 months. We have a customers in Panama and Argentina. We have a customers in Ecuador. We meet them once in 6 months.
Great.
Yeah. So meeting is the key.
Okay. Talking about FIO services now, what made you seek us out?
I'll again quote my example.
Okay.
My first visit to US at Las Vegas, it was in I think Apex 2006.
Okay.
It was an automobile exhibition, aftermarket automobile exhibition, where it was organized by DCSSI Delhi, and we as an exporter, they have carried about 20 exporters from India. And thereafter, we were member of Plastic Export Promotion Council.
Okay.
We always seen that there is a difference between the exhibitors who come from the various Export Promotion Council and the FIO, because there is always a FIO stall, or there are some exhibitors who comes through FIO.
Okay.
The difference which we found, that FIO is more a proactive hand-holding approach with the new exporters.
Okay.
And more particularly, whenever before the show, whatever the information about the market, about the buyers, about the B2B are well planned, so that this makes the chances of getting the business very bright. And overall, when I compare FIO and the other Export Promotion Council, I think FIO stands the first.
Okay. Then when you say all these things, what have been your key learnings to the journey? In fact, during the journey of exports.
There are a few things I would like to share which probably can help the budding exporters. One is that don't be in a hurry to conclude the order. This is what the most Indian exporters do. Second, and the most important, is don't offer the products which you have. Offer the products what customers want. Now, during this journey, besides plastic, we export some metal parts too, like we do copper parts, we do brass parts. And when we interact with the Indian manufacturers, there is one notion which usually we hear. Those who are good with their business, they say कि सर हमारा तो ऐसा आएगा, बाकी इसमें चेंज करना पॉसिबल नहीं होगा.
Okay.
And they are reluctant, or I don't know, they don't want to come out of their comfort zone.
Okay.
So what they say is कि सर हमारा तो ऐसा ही है. Recently I met, there was one inquiry because it goes with the fittings what we manufacture, and it was a pipe, basically a PVC pipe.
Okay.
With the specification.
Okay.
And there was a pressure, about a 12 bar pressure was the testing. That was a test specification. But they said कि सर हमारा तो 10 बार में चलता है इंडिया में, तो फिर 12 बार का हमसे नहीं बनेगा. As an exporter, I cannot say this to my customer.
Okay.
तो ये जो mindset है, that Indian exporters should come out of.
Okay.
So second is that don't offer the products what you have. Offer the products what customers want.
Okay.
And thirdly, meet the customers once they are your customers. Meet them once, at your convenience. But export happens like in quantity when you go and meet them. Even if your business is fine, running, still go and say them hello.
Okay. Going ahead, I would like to ask you one very important question about the current global trend, which is with regard to the tariff war, the FTAs, the trade and supply chain disruptions, which is happening these days. What is your viewpoint on that? How has it impacted your business in any way?
FTAs, yes, FTA. It's a very good initiative which is the government is doing. Recently, I think today itself we are signing with UK and soon with EU. This FTA for products is a very boon to Indian exporters.
Yes.
Provided
yes,
they do very aggressive marketing. Aggressive marketing as in when we understand that yes, this country or this particular buyer in the FTA country is looking for these things. Do the proper homework and meet them. Probably yes, the Indian exporters will be competitive as compared to the other countries or maybe within EU or their country, because in many cases I found, because we have replaced some European products in GCC with the Indian products.
Okay.
And the at par quality and cost is like we are effective like 30 to 35%.
Okay.
So FTA definitely it works when it comes to goods. About the tariff wars, जहाँ तक मैं समझ पाया हूँ, tariff is little still confusing. But yeah, if things works well with US, then yes, it will definitely open a good thing. And about the current geopolitical situation,
yes,
I don't see that as a challenge. I see that as an opportunity.
Great.
Opportunity is that when it comes to, say, Israel, recently I think, when the Israel and the Israel war has started, there was one Indian company who was supplying the military dresses and shoes to Israel. And I think for some reason they stopped. But that has opened the door for many other exporters who are willing to supply to Israel. Likewise, if we come to Iran,
okay,
during the war, there are so many things which we definitely, the Indian exporters need to identify. And those things are definitely in high demand, and at the war footage, the price is not the matter, availability is the matter. So geopolitical, I don't wish that this situation continues, but yeah, there is an opportunity which we must look for and try to tap that as well.
Okay, just a brief question related to this. Today we are going to sign the India-UK FTA. So your comments on that, and how do you see the India-US BTA happening or coming?
India-UK, as I said earlier, the FTAs for Indian products, definitely we have an age of cost effectiveness.
Okay.
If we gear up by our production capacity and commitments on the shipments, this will be a very turning point for Indian exporters
Okay.
because they will be getting probably a good pricing, consistent quality.
Okay.
The only thing where the Indian exporters lacks is the shipment commitments. We delay shipments like for months. So that is, if that is corrected, then yes, the FTA world where India has signed the agreement will be a wonderful boost to the Indian economy and Indian exports.
Okay. Talking about all these things, one last question which I'm left to ask to you is, what would be your suggestion and recommendation for all those who want to come to the field of exports?
Patience, consistency, and simplicity. These three things which can, if anyone can adhere to, will definitely be a successful exporter. Patience is in sense, don't be in hurry to conclude the order.
Okay.
Consistency, be in touch with your buyers consistently, and simplicity. I have seen that our catalogs are full of technical things which probably buyers do not need at very initial stage.
Okay.
But we overflow them with the information and we confuse them.
Okay.
We have our catalogs which run only in one page.
Okay.
We do not give total technical things because that is required at the second level of the meeting, not at the initial level.
Okay. That was great talking to you, Mr. Kalpesh Kumar. You were so candid and insightful in your approach in talking about all the questions and all the insights which you have given today. Thank you very much for joining our initiative.
Voice of Exports podcast by FIO aims to provide important information and views on foreign trade, especially on exports, which will help both Indian exporters and importers. Any statements made by an exporter, importer, or an importing company in this podcast as guests reflect the views and opinions of that individual or the company. This podcast does not constitute an endorsement by the FIO of the individual or the company, his or her or its employer or affiliated entity, the specific information or views provided, resources mentioned, or products or services endorsed or offered by that individual or the company, his or her or its employer or affiliated entity. FIO assumes no responsibility for the accuracy, completeness, or timelines of the information provided by the guest or the company in this podcast, or for the decisions made and reliance on any information provided by the guest or the company in this podcast. We thank you for listening to this episode of Voice of Exports podcast service brought to you by the FIO. For more information on how you can start exporting, please visit our website www.fio.org.